Hello everyone. So last time we spoke about Shadowguard. This time is the Dragon Graveyard. And this is a continuation after the one I did, the legendary Dragon Riders, the video. If you want to know more about this, go watch the clip, it's on one of my channels. But if to make it more easy, I'll link it in the description and I'll do it in the Shadowguard as well. With that said, enjoy. After the fall of our order, we Mushmen have taken a decision to remain hidden from interaction with both races. The two races we come to know over these past years through a unique bond, a bond that now has all but disappeared. Through this union we were supposed to send a message to the world. Peace was possible. We almost had it in our grasp. We were a step close to ending the skirmishes. All the blood of the innocent souls sacrificed for what was supposed to be the so-called common goal. A goal that has ended the life of our heroes, but mostly our friends. So, you finally came. I thought it would take years. Normally, it wouldn't. Normally, we wouldn't have come here to speak with you, Ashen. Nonetheless, our friends always used to tell us to always look behind the truth, 'cause it hits the real proof. What truly happened we want to know. This is what we truly came for. Our dear friend's family need to know. I'm sure you know that already. They need to know, Ashen. They need to know. The phrase kept echoing in Ashen's mind like a nightmare, a disease with no way of curing. It will take a while. This is not easy to talk. I'm still in shock of this past cataclysm. We have all the time needed, old friend. Very well. As you probably were aware, I have left Delina Forest in search for new allies to keep the Elred Wilds region safe from any danger. In case of the riders passing, my journey turned empty-clawed. On my way back, I've witnessed a massacre of the lizard tribe. It was done by a human faction, mistaking them for dragons. Once I saw the soldier leaving, I went to search for any survivors. One innocent soul had survived. I've taken a decision at that moment to take him under my wing before departing towards the Lina Forest. The journey was long and dangerous, especially with the two faction scouts surveilling any moment. As I was near the center of the forest, smoke and fire risen with it, burning every house. People, drovirs, and dragonlings were in disarray, not knowing where to go. From the distance I saw the riders fighting the dragons. I thought, have the enemies breached our defenses? Impossible. There were drovirs and militia, heavy dragon riders stationed on the lookout. As I came ever closer while being shrouded in my own taunts, could it be a spy? Was I that insensitive to not sense the appearance of a spy? I was met with shock. My brethren and fellow council members were attacking every riders. Almost half of the riders and wise dragons have been taken down. I didn't know what to make of this situation. I saw a militia dragon rider trying to reason with a wise dragon, and next he was gone. My only choice instantly came to me, to save the riders and get them as far away as possible. "Now burn in the deepest fire of hell, traitors!" said one of the wise dragons, left alive before being knocked down by Ashen's tail. What? Seeing confusion etch on the wise dragon as to what has happened, his prey disappeared, but where exactly? On the other side of the Lina Forest, Ashen lay the only three survivors left of the once great order. Their bodies were covered in ashes, armors lost their once vibrating colors that once brought fear to any on the battlefield whenever they saw it. What has happened here? I've asked the most weighted question that has been haunting my mind since the moment of my return. Every dragon rider Livaxil answered with ragged breaths, his mentor and trainer Ashen. We were preparing our supplies for a night patrol, as well as provision to be sent to the nearby villages, when a big explosion occurred from the center, exactly from the tower of the riders. As our protocol stated, we abandoned our work to go in search for the cause of the explosions. When we arrived, the buildings were destroyed and fire was even put out. One of our members went to take a better look, but immediately died by the fire of what's supposed to be a dragon. We of course went to the offensive. Nonetheless, we stopped after seeing the call of the rogue dragon, who turned out to be a wise dragon. We were shocked to register next when another wise dragon appeared and started attacking too. I see. So the night patrol drew the same conclusion as me. Anything else? This time I've turned to ask the dragon rider in charge of militia, Dragon Knight Rider Ashmir. I was alongside the heavy Dragon Riders when we launched towards the war zone after being requested of help from our relatives living in the other villages. As always, we announced the higher-ups of our mission. On the way to the villages, the skies were empty, no sight of dragons, which they would have been the first to be sighted, knowing the skirmishes the two factions had with one another. Moving on, we arrived at the sight of seeing our families being coerced into joining the war. We didn't hesitate to attack at all. The most confusing to us all was when the human faction didn't respond to our attack, instead remained calm. Humans being calm are a good sign. If it only meant trouble, my thoughts were a mess, trying to piece together all these events. I have left them since I didn't need to concern myself with it at the moment. I continued to ask them to continue their report. Have you felt as if it was a trap set by them intentionally? This time, the noble dragon rider Hess responded to his teacher. We did. We kept our guard up all the time. Our partners were on the edge too. From what they told us, it didn't smell as something good would come out of it. The moment of surprise eventually showed itself when a messenger drew near us while holding a scroll in his hand. I wasn't able to take a good look at it, but I was able to tell that it wasn't fake. Something told me it was serious. My gut proved to be correct when the unveiling of the scroll was showed. The signature of the king and insignia was present there. The messenger then started to recite the words of the king and its condition. All of them sounded too good to be true. The last one, though, on the other hand, was something we couldn't, never apply to. What was it? What could have been written here to make your blood boil that much? I was intrigued by the so-called offer the king was making them accept, to have them instantly cancel it without any thought. Dragon Knight Rider Ashmere, they offer us a peace treaty between us and them. The conditions, on the other hand, were met with a big problem. By betraying you and having our partners handed as well as equipment and knowledge to them as acceptance toward the treaty. I see. So they made it look good, and they were from the one condition that will destroy every army. Am I correct? I asked Ashmig, already able to see the pattern to this disaster I've stumbled upon. Hess. We have refused their offer, and then they tried to capture us when soldiers revealed themselves from their hideouts. Our partners' fire took them by surprise, giving us enough time to fly away as much as possible. We knew we were supposed to help our people, but this information was needed to be heard. We also saw a scout of ours ahead of us, but paid no need and returned back. Livaxil, what do you make of this? Our dragon scout being there. Ashen asked, this time one of his captains of the night patrol. Outrageous, since we were supposed to be announced of such presence inside enemy lines before launching. I dare say it felt like it was deliberate made to make us fight between each other. Exactly my thoughts. Tell me, when you arrived, did the atmosphere change? I had to know if my intuition was wrong or correct. The riders were simple farmers. They strayed away from violence and war. Victims just like us. They wouldn't betray their friends for such evil schemes. Yes, the atmosphere was chilling, almost too quiet. It wasn't the usual happiness displayed before. Even the Drevir guards were on edge. One of them announced of the urgent summoning from the higher-ups. We thought we were under attack and was called for battle plans. Inside the tower, though, the discussion was more focused on our mission inside enemy lines. Have they told you about the dragon scouts sent near your location? Or what has transpired there in the first place? I was close to the answer. Betrayal from the rider was never possible. Something or someone planned this, but who? Ashen doubts of betrayals from the writers were finally revealed to be non-existent. His brethren, on the other hand, grew to be distasteful. We tried to, but couldn't. We were accused of betrayal. They wouldn't let us at least have explained ourselves. It came to a point where the white dragon started bringing fire onto our comrades, and then chaos was born. Thank you, Ashmere. That will be all. Everything I've heard so far is as I feared. Most disturbing is the rush of decision enacted by the white dragons without getting through the end of the event. If it wasn't for that scout's appearance, naturally this wouldn't have happened. Dragonling Scout. Wait a moment. Weren't they supposed to scout the western wing of Edwin Wilds? Why was that scout present there in the first place? My fellow students, I as your mentor may have found out the reason of this cataclysm. It wasn't planned by the wise dragons. Your meeting with the soldiers and the scout may have been late, way before the event of your arriving. Tell me, did the scout have any symbol of our order burn on their wings or skin? Asked Ashen. Now that I think about it, the red dragonling scout didn't have any symbol presented on his wings. He had a fire molten heart on his chest, and wings were a bit darker, not like the light ones of our comrades. But what does this have to do with everything? It has, since he's the one responsible for everything that has happened to you. The fall with the wise ones, the prepositional piece, it was all his doing. If this mission, its mission was to infuse conflict between the ranks. In doing so, succeeded, and now everyone is gone. Not everyone is gone. We are still here, although it will pain us to do this. We have to return and fight till the end. It is what our brothers and sisters would have wanted, ended Ashmir. Returning there will mean no way back home to your families. Is truly what you desire? I've asked them, knowing already the answer. Our families will understand. Our honor will never die. Our act of courage will inspire many generations defending the world from any evil threats. Our deaths will serve as a lesson for future generations to never let greed take over what really matters. The heart will die, the honor will be spread, the message of peace will prevail. Has ended his shouting. We shall leave one last message. We shall leave one last message about our origins to our descendants, as well as the events that have transpired before going. Thank you for everything you ever taught us, Ashen. Your lessons and words of wisdom will never be forgotten. Livaxil ended with one last salute to his mentor, and that was the last time I saw them. I could have stopped them, though I knew deep inside they wouldn't stop, even if it meant seeing their loved ones again. At that moment, besides sorrow, I also felt pride and happiness for the very first time. It was not easy to deal with, and it still isn't, even to this day. What are you going to do now? Asked the Marshman elders. The Elena forest cannot house life again. I will make it a place where all dragons can pass on to the other side. Then train someone to look after it when my time comes as well. What will you be doing, my old friends? We will still keep our duty to protect this place. It is still our home. I know they would have wanted it too. For now, though, we shall return to the underground and reside there until the time comes when the forest will need our help again. One of the Marshman elders responded before departing from Ashenfur. From what will be the very last time? Since then, 5,000 years have passed, the dragon wars ended, the dragons have won, the Brimstone Kingdom have fallen, and the survivors were driven away from Leafall. The land of Leafall became a desolated wasteland under the name of Ashfall. The beautiful lake that used to house live marines now blazed with lava pools. The green islands and trees all around it all but burning to a crisp. These different sort of creatures now lay there instead of the once beautiful scenery. The dwarves' mine that once housed the greatest blacksmiths in all lore, all but vanished, leaving behind only their creations and masterpieces. The region of Erwin Wilds also took a drastic change. The villages around that used to be the fields all but disappeared, becoming a desert, one that came to be known over the centuries as Sandsea. Elena Forest over this past century have lost its colors and magical beauty. The place that used to be home of the legendary Dragon Riders all but perished. In its place, a graveyard was made in dedication to the fallen and soon to follow. After Ashen's and other dragons passing, Zakaru took the new reign in protecting the dragon graveyard alongside Alata. And what may have happened to the Marshman? No one really knows. Although the world outside has changed a lot since their disappearing, beneath the earth on the other hand, another tale, another legend begins. So, this is what I've written for the beginning of the Mushronin and Mushrogan saga. And if it's difficult for you to understand all of this, I think it's best if you watch the Dragon Riders videos that I have posted first time, so that you can have an idea of what's really going on and can clear some of the confusion you may be having right now. Because if you're watching this, you are hella confused what's going on and what is this guy talking about, what this is all about. I think it's best if you just go and watch those two clips and then come back to this, and then you will be able to understand it. I'll see you next time with another theory of mine.